Good morning, one and all, wherever you are in the world. It could be morning, could be afternoon, could be evening, wherever it is. Welcome to Cockerel Doodle Doo, your morning Spurs show. There will be a fourth person joining us in Ben. James was going to join us, but had a work call out, so couldn't make it. But I'm joined with two wonderful people. First of all, we'll start with the wonderful lady that has graced YouTube community recently. A big hello to Ash. How are you? You're on mute, Ash.
I'm all right. It's a nice sunny day here, and Christmas is upon us, so it's a wonderful time.
Well, it's not sunny here, and it won't be sunny here. It's getting cold. It's getting cold, and the other person joining us will get to know how cold it is in 5 weeks, one day, when he comes out to see me. My little brother Ryan. How are you, sir?
A little under the weather still, not 100% from last week, but getting better. I'm on the mend, and let's just hope Spurs this weekend don't let us all down, because I could do with feeling better through Spurs.
There we go. There we go. Mate, do you know what? I was talking to Ash behindside. My vanity, I've come up with this spot this morning. It looks like it's getting bigger and bigger in the show. So if I grow a second head, don't panic. It's just a spot. Yeah, Ryan, we need you fighting fit because you're going to come here. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. So
get the illness out of the way now.
Fight all your illnesses off. But let's just do the morning roll call, and then we'll get in with the show. And guys, put loads of questions in today because doing this daily, there's not always loads and loads and loads of Spurs news. So if you guys have any questions, put at TOT or Q, and we will go through them. But first of all, good morning to Daniela. Good morning to Mr. Cousins. Ryan is here. Good morning, Graham. Kate, good morning. Kernra, how are you doing, sir? I hope you're good. Lee Smithy Smith, good morning, sir. It's me, it's KPV. Benjamin Foster is in the building. As always, Colin Cross. EastEnders himself, Sean Slater, is in the building. I'm going to ask a quick question, actually, because Sean and I got into a conversation, and I'm sure this guy was on a wind-up, but I'll sort of that in a minute. MG, good morning. Darren, good morning. Daniel, good morning, sir. One love to you. And Fran, good morning. I hope you're good and well. So, before we get to the show, Sean and I'm obviously a massive, massive Alfie Devine fan. Sean is Jamie Donnelly's #1 fan. And a guy got talking to us. Good morning, David, sir. I hope you are good and well, brother. So we got talking, and a guy started a chat with us, and I'm sure he was on a wind-up, but he started it by saying that Ollie Skip is better than both of them combined, and always will be. And he was really, I don't know if I think he was on a wind-up saying, look where Skip is now compared to these guys. And we're like, well, this one's 18 and 19. He's 23. Out of those three, Ash, who do you reckon is going to have the best Spurs career?
I'm leaning towards Alfie Devine, but the more I watch the under-21s, the more Donnelly impresses me. So it's kind of at a 50-50 between those two, but I definitely don't think it's Skip. Of all the three, it's definitely not Skip. Like, if I had to sort of put him, I would even put him perhaps slightly under Winks in some senses. Skip, he's great, but he's great at a certain type of game. So I don't. I think that he's probably not going to cut it to the big leagues. It doesn't look like it, at least. But I don't see why we have to have only one academy player doing well or two academy players doing well. They can all do well, you know. I'd like to see like something like the class of '92 repeated in football. I know it's not the kind of football that exists in the market today, but I'd like to see it happen. I'd like to see 4 or 5 academy boys playing in the first team and, you know, like along with the seniors. I think it would be amazing. It would get the whole community behind the team. I just think that's how we like that's the way Spurs would do it if it had to be done.
Okay, Ryan, brother, same question to you.
Well, I saw your thread and your replies to the guy that was saying Oliver
Yep.
Skip. Personally, I agree with what he said about if you're now hear me out. If you're good enough, you're old enough, and I do
that part.
believe so. Where if you are good enough, you're good. You're old enough to play in the first team. It's as simple as that. We've had Dele Alli at the age of 18, 19 breakthrough and take the Premier League by storm. You look class of 92 is a perfect example. I know it's different eras of football, but the one that I actually do think is actually going to take the Premier League by storm in probably a year or two's time, hopefully, if he can break through. And Paul O'Keefe has been banging on about him, and that's Dorrington. I think Dorrington, out of all four, is going to be the one that's going to take the Premier League by storm. But out of the three, I would lean towards Alfie Devine. I mean, he's trained with the England first team already. He was called up by Gareth Southgate to train with them. There's a lot of hype around him, mainly by you, Daigle. You absolutely love him.
I do. I do.
And yeah, this loan to Port Vale, I think, has done him the world of good. Getting him out playing football, because the amount of times we see our academy products either sitting on the bench rotting away or not getting the game time. Unlike this season with our academy teams, they've been not getting much game time or playing badly because we haven't had the team or whatever. But what Ash was saying about having another class of 92, that's probably something that could happen at Tottenham. But it would probably be 5 to 10 years down the line, because it's still, and we have to stick with this kind of style of play and stick by Ange, because it's a philosophy that's coming through the academy. We're all playing the same way. You saw even the women's team. Our goal in the North London derby was perfect Ange ball. The way we opened up Arsenal, passed it through them, and scored the goal at the end. It was like watching the men's football team in terms of playing out from the back, keeping the ball, passing the ball. So it's going to take a little bit of time, development, and in 7 to 10 years' time, we could have our own class of 92 coming out of the academy. I mean, there's a lot of talented players in there. You got Bell, Donnelly, they're all coming through. They're all looking good. So
even Iago Santiago looks not so bad.
Yeah, Santiago's another one.
Bell.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're all. I have to say, first of all, Hemorrhoid, thank you very much indeed for my coffee. It's so good not having that blurred background, because as you can see, we've gone up in the world and we've got me a Tottenham on tour flag in the background. So look at the class going up in. Yeah, listen, I chose Alfie. Sean put a poll up. I thought he was on a wind up. When this comment came up and he actually said this, I was like, now you're on a wind up.
Yeah.
No, I was like, that's it, you're on a wind up. Listen, KPV, dear. I'm disappointed in you, my brother. It's Alfie Divine all the way. Listen, the good thing is that we're having this discussion. That's the good thing. It's been so long where it's been, okay, what's coming through, who's coming through, when's coming through. To have this here, but the comments that he was saying, I just wanted to have a quick chat and see if people felt the way that this person did. But I think in the poll, Sean, if I remember correctly, last time I checked, Jamie Donnelly was in front, and Ollie Skip had about 4% of the vote. So the fourth person's come because Ben ain't going to be able to make it. So Spurs have done, or we at Tottenham Tour always do what Tottenham should do. I put a message out. The call comes in. The transfer's done. Here he is. Done.
Morning.
That's how you do it, people.
That was it.
Good morning, Ian. How are you, sir?
Levy likes a good deal.
Oh, why? How are you this morning, sir?
Very well. Yourself?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Good morning, all.
I don't know if you were here in the chat, but myself and Sean were having a discussion with someone yesterday who thinks that Ollie Skip is going to be better or will be better than Alfie Divine and Jamie Donnelly combined. we thought he was going to wind up. He said a few things that made it. But if you had your choice, Ollie Skip, Alfie Devine, Jamie Donnelly, or maybe one of the other youths, who do you reckon, when they look back at their career, is going to have the most successful Spurs career?
Cool. That's a tough one. I'd go for Donnelly.
Sean's going to be very happy. What makes you say for Donnelly?
I just think the hype about him and the action I've seen, it just seems to be a tremendous talent. And I was surprised Devine went to Port Vale. I would have thought a championship level side would have been far better for Devine. I'm not sure. You know, he seems to be smashing it, but you know, you're then going to send him out to a championship team next year to see if he can go up another level. I would have just cut that out and saved him a year. You know, if he's going to be good enough, as good as you think he's going to be, Brian.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. Then I would have saved Devine a year and sent him to the championship. Like Skip did.
Like Scarlett, who's breaking through in the championship at the moment.
Sorry, who is?
Dane Scarlett, and we've got high hopes for him as well. He's not breaking through and getting game time. I watched it's the first time I've really seen him play for Ipswich when you had the East Anglia derby last weekend between Ipswich and Norwich. I saw him come on for 4 or 5 minutes. He showed a nice bit of movement as well in those 4 or 5 minutes, Scarlett. But if he's not getting
2 or 3 goals as well, right? Like
getting game time in the championship, he's not starting games. So
that's the problem. That's the problem. I think him with Devine, I think there's a championship low next season or a low Premiership team. That's what I think. I think it was just a case of getting him out, and we'll see where it goes. But let's change this to people coming in, because we spoke about it yesterday that Romano was about to drop something. He was working on something, and then he did drop something. Jean-Clair, I can never say so.
Todibo.
Thank you. It's too early in the morning for me to try and say these kind of names. This broke and then has gone like wildfire. I'm going to be serious. Don't know a sodding thing about him, but from what I've heard, obviously I've heard people say he's keeping Saliba out of the French national team, which is always a good thing to keep a gooner out of a national team. But that's about the extent of my knowledge. I mean, Ash, do you know a lot about him?
I've seen him play with the French national team. I can't say I watch a lot of Ligue 1. But I have sort of looked into him since the rumor came out. Honestly, also Fabrizio Romano, I'm so annoyed. It was the most anticlimactic tweet. Oh, I'm going to come out with a tweet. It's going to drop. And everyone is waiting. And it turns out to be something that everyone has been discussing for 2 days. So anyway, getting that out of the way, Todibo, he looks to be like a Romero sort of player. He's right-footed. I think he's faster than Romero. But he has very similar characteristics. He's good on the ball. He's very aggressive. He has a few cards in him as well. In fact, he has the record for the fastest red card of the Liga.
Oh, is it?
So, yeah.
That's wonderful to see. We get another record breaker. That's great.
So clearly, that's a profile we look for in our defenders. Yeah. And I actually like that. I like that a little bit of aggression, you know. And if he's going to be paired with Mickey van der Ven, for example, because left foot, right foot would make sense. I see them sort of being the same as Romero, van der Ven, where one is aggressive and the other is calm, and it would work out. So I think profile wise also he fits, and it's good for Romero to have some competition as well. So I think in every way this deal works for me. I know there are some people who are like, oh, we have a disciplinary issue, we shouldn't get more people who get red cards, but he's a really good player as well from what I've seen. And Nice is doing really well. They're second in the league on table, I think, or at least they were when I checked. So yeah, I think this works for me more than the others at least.
Okay, Ian, I'll come to you because then I'm gonna put a more Levy-centric question to the one that keeps very quiet about how we feel about it. As said, obviously he can be a bit aggressive. I mean, if there's one thing the Spurs team is lacking at the moment, it's a bit aggressive, isn't it? It's but what do you know about this guy? From what I will say, everything that I've seen about him, and when I say seen, I mean read up from fellow content creators, fellow Spurs fans, football fans. it's all very, very positive.
Very much so. It's I've not seen him play, but everybody's saying how good this guy is. And people are saying, well, is he going to come and sit on the bench? Well, you look at Man City and their array of centre-back talents. They've got plenty of players. Why not? Why wouldn't he come and rotate? Next year when we're in Europe, and we will be in one of the European competitions, I'm sure, we will need a bigger squad.
Yep.
That would be an excellent buy. I mean, I'm also hearing about Morata from Benfica, is it?
Yeah.
They're talking about him as well. So
sent back from Benfica.
Let's see.
They're on an extensive list, we've been told, haven't we, Ryan? And obviously we've heard that and Ben said it yesterday when he said, when Fabrizio said, yes, it's going to be a difficult transfer to get over the line, but Spurs want it done early. And Ben's reaction was every transfer is a bloody hard transfer with a certain person in charge. They say they want this done early. This is what we heard. We've heard before. And apparently we've opened talks with both the club and both the player. We want players in early. Do you reckon this gets done early?
No.
I think he will this time.
No.
I think he will.
I don't think
on Fabrizio Romano, at least when he tweets and puts something out, it's reliable. Even though it's been talked about for 3-4 days, like you said, Ash, at least when he tweets, everyone knows it's serious. At least.
No, I've got to say with Ash, I will say it's like him saying I've got something to tweet in a few days on a Monday, and then tweeting, yes, today is Friday. That's basically what he does. Yep, this has been spoken about. Now I'm going to say it. So carry on, Roy.
I completely forgot what we were talking about.
I'm going to put Ash at the top. It's not fair that I'm cutting Ash off. I cut you off, Roy. But yeah, go on, carry on speaking, bro.
On Todibo. It just has that. It just looks like a typical. Here's 15 mil. No, we want 30. Here's 18 mil plus 2 million add-ons. No, we want 30. Here's 22 million. No, we want. It's going to linger and go back and forth till right at the end. It just looks like that kind of transfer. I very much doubt Levy's going to go there and just go, how much? There you go. Levy doesn't work like that. He never has. He always has to penny pinch and just try and get the deal done as cheap as possible. He will never ever go to a club and say how much and put that money on the table.
Right.
I have to very quickly, and I'll let you guys. I want to say very, very quickly, good morning to Nick Barry, Sean Phil Grant, who is working extremely hard. This is like he's working ridiculous hours. I think he's living on Red Bull at the moment, not sleep. So to see him in the chat is great. I hope you're good, brother. We'll have a call later on today. Sorry, back to what you were about to say.
In response to what Ryan just said, you hope that Levy has learnt, because what he did with Bruno Fernandes cost him a fortune. He wouldn't pay the extra £8 million, which was 10 million euros at the time. Bruno took United into the Champions League and we went into the Europa League. And that 10 million euros that he saved probably cost him 50 or 60 because of the lack of money coming in, the reduced amount coming in from the Europa League. So, I actually think Spurs are very handily placed at the moment. And if Levy's clever, he'll be looking at that thinking, do you know what?
I do think this deal does get done because of the fact we're in a top 4 battle, as well as potentially a dark horse in the title, but we're most definitely in the conversation for top 4. And
I'd say...
If we were comfortably in the top 4 like it was under Poch for that period, I don't think we sign him. Because all Levy has ever given a damn about is top 4. He would never go that extra mile to go for the title. If he ends up building a team and getting 2 or 3 in that takes us to the title, he'll go, well, that's a bonus. He won't go buying players for the title. He will buy players to try and secure top 4. So because we're not securely in top 4 at the moment, I think we'll end up signing. I don't think it's done early.
And just been vocal, hasn't he, saying that he wants players in early.
I will say so did Poch.
Yeah, so did Mourinho.
So I have. So I think it won't be done early simply because United is also after this player, and it's possible the player wouldn't even want to join United because of how they're doing right now, but the agent can still leverage that to get more money. And so all of that will go into how complicated this deal is, and that's why I don't think it'll be done fast, because Levy will continuously want to save money and the agent will continuously want to get money out of it. So
Not even just
No,
that.
not only is that
Jim
brilliant.
Radcliffe also owns part of Nice. And if he
Not-
owns part of Manchester United, there's a link there that can
Not-
get the deal done.
Not only is Ash brilliant, but the logic on her, she says everything I need to say without me saying it. So, well said there, Ash. But you know what? Moving on from him, I've got to talk about someone because Sean put it here.
Brian,
Um,
can I just say,
Go
if
on.
the player wants to go to Spurs, doesn't matter what Ratcliffe wants. If
That's
the player
right.
is fixed on Tottenham, then he will come to Tottenham.
And the news coming out of Manchester United at the moment, and everything up in the air, I don't think that will be the club anyone
Why would
wants
he
to
want
join.
to go to United? Seriously,
At the
I mean,
moment.
the club's in a complete mess.
Yeah,
It is. It is. One thing I
it's
will say:
heart-wrenching.
if Ratcliffe does take it over, and it's all coming out that they're going to do what Arsenal did and rip everything up and start again. If they do that, and if they stick to that, Manchester United, not straight away, but you know what they will do. They will chuck money at it. They will do everything they can to get back
But
to
while
that.
the Glazers
It's all
are still
this.
there, that's still always going to be an issue. It's
It will
like
be, but Ryan, they've
it's
always
like-
put Ryan,
it's
Ryan,
exactly
Ryan,
the
Ryan,
same as with
Ryan,
us. We say
Ryan,
about Levy. If we get someone that owns it and just takes over the football side, no
I
matter
fully agree,
how
Ryan.
much they control the football side, you're still going to have the snake head still lingering over. Just
yeah, but
waiting.
Ryan, the one thing that they've always done, love them or hate them, is invest
He's
in
throwing
that.
money at them.
It's
Yes,
throwing money at the players. So on the plate, they've got so much to do.
That's
Don't get me
fan
wrong,
base.
I agree with you that club is in a complete mess and
Hang
has
on.
absolutely no
Benjamin, I
idea
don't
where
think
it's
the top
going.
3 football clubs in the world right now. I really don't.
No,
Well, I've got-
they can be very quickly.
I must
they
tell you,
can be. I wouldn't even put United in the top 20 clubs in Europe right now.
No, neither would I.
Just the way
if United don't get the right people in for recruitments, then there'll be a mess. I mean, look at Chelsea. Look at the money they've spent, and look what's happening there. And that is a risk. That is high. That's like
Jim Radcliffe
high
has
rollers risk. This
having some part in Nice gives him that experience. Todd Bowley had no experience of running any form of
No.
sport. He just
Not a
saw
chance,
it.
Bill.
an
Not
investment.
a chance. Not a chance. But you know what? Getting away from him, I need to bring this up because I couldn't believe it until I heard it on We Are Tottenham TV's update yesterday. There's a bidding war going on. Let's have some humour. Let's calm this down. Let's have some humour. Can you believe between Sporting Lisbon and I believe it's Fenerbahce, there is serious competition for Eric Dyer now? From what I'm taking this all from my brothers Ben and Simeon. He wants to go back to Sporting Lisbon. He's been very open, like throughout his career. He wants to go home. They want him on a free. Fenerbahce want him in January, but obviously we want money for him. Which, do you know what? At the end of the day, he's still a Spurs player. I get it, and I certainly get Levy wanting to get money. But you look at it now, and I'm coming to you as always, first Ash. After almost 10 years of service, if he's staying till the end of the season and turns down for Fenerbahce because he wants Sporting Lisbon, you're still paying him. Can we not just pay him off and say, there you go home, thank you for your service, off you go. Love him or hate him, he's been here for as long as he has for whatever reason. Surely a nice thing to do would be, and it's win-win, isn't it? You get him off the books, he's gone, another space clear. He gets to go back home and finalise his career back home. I mean, Ash, where are you with this?
So the thing is, the biggest problem with Eric Dyer for me is that even though he's English, he's not a homegrown player. And so getting him off our books is a very big deal simply because it frees up a spot for one foreign player. And that's a big deal, especially with our transfers, because we did have a homegrown problem for a while, and we've been sort of using our academy like players to sort of fill those gaps. But if Eric Dyer leaves, at least it frees up one spot. And so I think just get rid of him in Jan, irrespective. like pay him off, finish off that contract just so that he's off the books. And I also think that, it ruins the atmosphere in the dressing room if you have one player, that video that came out where he's like, oh, you're never going to show me, when he was walking into after the international break into the into the stadium, sorry, into the training facilities. And I just thought that, everyone felt really sorry for him, but I was thinking about how that would sort of stink up a dressing room. And I don't want to see it. I'd rather he moves on. He'll be happier. We'll be happier, and that's some credit to his 10-year service also. If we sort of let him go and then cordially, amicably, sort of end terms.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, if I go to you, Ian, what I will say, Bill, is trust me, fans do care. We do care. Things are already being spoken about. We listen. It never goes away. It never ever goes away. But Ryan, Ryan, sir, Ryan has been at every protest with me, every single goddamn one of them. Ian has been at a lot of them. We organise these things and do these things, and we couldn't get people turning up when things were terrible. And people couldn't blame the bad weather because we were doing it from January onwards. Wasn't getting dark early, so the flags and banners and everything weren't getting seen. We couldn't get it going when times were bad, when really, really bad. In the stadium, yeah. Outside the stadium, so the chance of people joining it when things are good, it just weren't going to happen. And trust me when I say things are already being planned and things are happening. But it's never forgotten, mate. Trust me on that one. Ian, over to you with Dyer.
Get rid of him. I'd rather have Dorrington in the team than Dyer.
Yep.
Or Phillips. He's not the future. And Angie's a new broom. Clear out what you don't want and move on. End of. Dyer should go back to Lisbon. Absolutely, 100%. I'd pay him up. What are you going to pay him? A couple of million? Let him go and free a place for somebody coming in. Because at the moment, having said that, you've got Dyer and Lloris took the last 2 of the 17 foreign spots. Just get a shot of those 2, bring in 2 people.
Yep, there's that. Ryan, where are you on this?
I'm quite happy to see Dyer go in January, whether it's him being paid off, or if there's some kind of agreement that can be reached with Sporting Lisbon. I do not believe he will be going to Fenerbahce at all. I think that's a non-starter. And personally, if he's here till the end of the season, he's here to the end of the season. There's potentially 4 games left of the season with FA Cup if we get to the final. So it's very unlikely we will see Dyer in any of those, let's be honest. I don't see him playing in the cup games, and he certainly won't be involved in the league games. So unless an emergency situation happens where we lose.
I'm where you are. Listen, just let him go. Just let him go.
27 games potentially.
Just I would pay Dorrington. I would play Phillips. I would play Phillips injured, currently injured, over Eric Dyer. That's how much I want him gone. Listen, I loved him when he was the centre midfielder with Dembele that first season with Poch, or the second season, sorry. I thought that was the best season he gave us, and he's had good moments, but the time has come. Go finish your career in Portugal, go be happy, and leave this football club. I want to say a massive hello to Dave, who I haven't seen for ages, a very, very dear friend of mine. I hope you and the family are well. So, yeah, that's Dyer going out. But I want to talk about something that broke yesterday, and I put it in the title about our wonderful captain, our wonderful, wonderful captain, Heung Min Son. Something broke yesterday via the Premier League and Spurs about a wonderful thing he did, parts of the club did, for those 2 daughters and their dad who's been suffering with cancer long term. Listen, we all know that clubs do this. We all know that this happens at this time of year. But what I want to talk about is, I don't know if I'm the only one. I'll speak about this with Ash behind the scene. I've seen a lot more of this from Spurs since Heung Min Son has been captain. There is so much more connection and interaction with the fan base from Tottenham Hotspur since Sonny has been captain. I didn't see this kind of levels of connectivity with Hugo, with
I knew
Harry.
you were there. I knew
Huh?
you were there with Hugo.
No, mate. I'm just saying the last captain. I could go way back. I could say Ledley King when he was playing. I'm not just picking on Hugo. I'm saying the
Back
whole.
then there was no social media, so we probably didn't see it as much.
Well, there was with Ledley. There was social media with Ledley.
It wasn't massive.
Well, that's not the point. What I'm saying is we're seeing this now, and this certainly in recent history. We can even do it then. We'll do it recent history. I can't remember seeing this level of interaction and connectivity, period, with the Spurs fan base trying to read the stuff that went on.
I've got to answer you there, Brian.
Go on.
I was in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. That was just the best night. You talk about connection with the players, with Poch and his team. That was just fantastic.
Yeah, no, that part I'm talking. That part.
We got it back.
We're talking off the pitch here.
We're talking off the pitch, Ian. Connection with the fans off the pitch.
Off the pitch, not on the pitch. Off the pitch. The things he's doing, and I just think Heung Min Son is doing a hell of a lot more than any Spurs captain. And this isn't me slating the previous Spurs captains.
No, I'm not saying that. I just think that this time of year, Spurs have always, Spurs went to a lot of hospitals. This like every Christmas time they go. A select few Spurs players go to, the hospice and give out gifts to the ill children. That they've always done that. I also just think that fans. If you ask them their favourite players, any fans of any clubs, no matter who the captain is, or very rarely will they say the goalkeeper. Very rarely will they ever say the goalkeeper. So when you get and loads of fans, English, Asian, all over the world, love Son Heung Min. So if you get the opportunity to meet some Spurs, are going to give the people that aren't feeling great the players that they want. Whether Hugo was captain or not, he's not going to be in that list of players. That yes, he probably show up as captain. If you ask a lot of the fan base, I don't think Lloris, even when he was at his best, would be in their top 3 or 4 players that they liked.
I listen. I'm going to go to Ash, then to you, Ian. You can put it that way. I think, and we've all spoken about the things Son's been doing since he's been captain, and the difference that's been happening with certain things. I'll give you little things like the huddle on the pitch. I'll give you another one. The photo on international duty when he's with Brennan Johnson, Ben Davies, Joe Roden. There are so many things you are seeing with Heung Min Son as captain that never, ever happened whilst anyone else was captain. Like I said to you, Ledley King, one of the best captains we've had. One of the best. Hugo Lloris held it and did what he did, but not disputing what great jobs they did. I'm talking about what Sonny is doing that is so different. Yes, Ange it could be to do with Ange as well, but Ash, I think Sonny's having a huge say in the way Spurs are handling things off the pitch, in the ways that obviously not transfers and yada yada yada, but things like this. I think Son is having a huge impact, and there's a lot of people. Sorry, Ash, I'm going to say one thing that will say he has been our best captain since Stevie Perryman. There's people already having that conversation. Ash, over to you.
I think it's very very easy to say that all our captain, like Spurs has always done good things over Christmas. They always make a gesture towards the community, but the truth is Sonny is just a really empathetic, really warm person, and that sort of filters down to the team, to the people managing, to the staff. It's leadership sort of defines who we are as people, and Ange is a really warm, honest, open-hearted person. Sonny is like that as well, and so when the leadership is all like that, it sort of filters down. Poch, I think, was like that as well. But I don't think that Lloris was. He was more introverted. I'm not saying he wasn't empathetic or he didn't feel for the community. It's possible he felt the same way. But although I wouldn't, maybe not in the last 2-3 years, but I still don't see that sort of like connect with him. Like Sonny just bleeds Spurs. He's Spurs through and through. When a offer comes in from somewhere else, it's immediately shut down before it makes the rounds. He's just that sort of player. He's loyal. He's honest, and he's just you. When he was reading that letter, the sort of empathy he was showing, where he couldn't finish reading it because he was so emotional. And I think that and it was very genuine. Like, you can make out on social media when people are faking it, because a lot of people do that as well, but it's people don't react very well to that. Like, if you're not your authentic selves, it shows on camera. So I do think that Sunny's just an amazing human being, and I hope that all the young players that are coming up sort of emulate him and learn to be like him, because he's just the perfect role model for a footballer.
The one in, I'm going to come to you with it. The way I'm going to reword it to make it my point sound a little bit clearer is, if you look at it, last season, this club, we all know, was in a complete total nutter mess on the pitch, off the pitch, management, just everywhere you looked at, everything, youth academy getting relegated. Now, obviously, change of manager, there's obviously been a change of captain. There's been a change of leaders, as in vice captains. And there has been, obviously, Ange Ball has certainly helped it with the style of football played again. But what this club has done, and Sonny as captain, in how many months we had in the season now? 4. I don't think anyone expected the connection to be back at, like you said, perfect example, 4-1 defeat to Chelsea. This fan base is standing up clapping. Last season, 4-1 defeat to Chelsea. Me and Ryan would have been on the pitch rioting. Son has got a huge deal to do with it, for me, a massive, massive part.
I think I'm going to throw a curveball into the conversation.
Let's do this.
And just say that probably the last player that I can think of that had this affiliation with the fans was your favourite, Mr. Gascoigne, who, when he came out of training, every single training session where there were fans outside, didn't matter how long it took, he signed every single autograph. At match day, he used to come out into the car park, whichever, home or away, sign everybody's pictures, whatever, And Sonny's the same. He was made captain because he brought all the different factions in the dressing room together, and I think he's done a great job. I can't remember the last. Probably Perryman was a superb captain. But I can't think, and I do think that there was a different type of affection between players and fans in the old days. And I'm sort of going back a bit, and the older members watching this will remember before you had social media, before you had Sky TV, it was literally just the fans and the players on match day.
Yeah,
and you'd have the trip to Highlands Hospital or one of the local hospitals every Christmas that would be in the match programme. But things have moved on so much since then, and I think I went to the film viewing of the 125-year anniversary that was at the O2 in 2007, and they put the players upstairs and the fans downstairs, which I thought was disgusting. They should have put all the players intermingled across, all the fan base.
Yep.
And I think the club have not done it correctly for many, many years. And now finally, it's, and I think Sonny bringing all the players in front of the fans for the huddle at Brentford kicked it all off. That started. And I think since then, the whole thing, it was so bad last year that Ange coming in, players having to step up because Kane has gone, and also virtually a new team. All of a sudden, there's new hope for the fans, and the players come across and they all come up after every match, whereas last season it was disgraceful.
Yeah,
you get Kane every match and maybe one or two others. If we lost, and that was it.
Yeah, I'm going to add this. There's quite a few people saying, Ash, I'm going to go to you as well, talking about, obviously, Sonny will come out, win, lose or draw, and speak to the media and do everything. As captain, you definitely didn't see that with Hugo. Came out and dropped the odd pipe bomb and did whatever, but he does that. And as you said, Ian, win, lose or draw, when Spurs lose now, home or away, it's not just a walk to the halfway line and clap in our direction.
That's right.
It's right over in front of the fans. And I think Andrew's got a lot to do with that, but as well, Sonny, there's a huge difference, isn't there, Ash, on the pitch with what he's doing as well.
Yeah, I'll just give you like the huddle. I think was Sonny's idea. Somebody said it in an interview as well. But I'll just give you a small example of why Sonny is not about himself and about the team. He just won the Player of the Year for like the London Football Awards. Any other player's PR team would make that would be making the news rounds. But what we're talking about is this moment where Sonny reads that letter. So the fact that we're doing that instead of focusing on Sonny winning Player of the Year or something, individual awards, I think that shows how much he's about Spurs rather than about any individual award. And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, but I just want people to know when I put my finger up like that, that wasn't at anyone on the panel or in the chat. That was at the person next to me who always tries to wind me up and says Ericsson was a much better player than Paul Gascoigne at Tottenham Hotspur. And every time he said that, he's going to get so many slaps. He has a slapometer, and he's just tallying up the slaps he's going to get in minus 20 degrees in 5 weeks' time. So I'm looking forward to it. The more he does it,
Ryan, you're going to get slaughtered if you think Ericsson was better than Gascoigne. Seriously.
No, I really don't think he's better.
Mate, we've had polls and polls. He thinks. I'm going to ask everyone in the chat now. We'll put this to the test as well. Whilst we're doing this very quickly, and we've brought this up. Ryan also thinks the Sheffield United free kick Christian Eriksen scored is a better and harder free kick than Paul Gascoigne's in the semi-final.
It's a much harder free kick, and that I will stand by.
No, it's not a harder free kick.
It is.
Ian? Gather or don't let me down here, Ian. Don't let.
No, I would say I was there that night. No, I was there that night. It was a phenomenal free kick by Ericsson, I've got to tell you. But I think when you compare free kicks, I think Gascoigne's Wembley FA Cup semi-final.
Take the scenario in Arsenal
had lost one game all season to Chelsea. You've got to go with Gascoigne.
Mate, Ryan, when you say...
You're all picking it based on the opponent.
Ryan, Ericsson's was 20 yards, Gascoigne's was 30 or 35.
Ericsson was an angle.
Okay, listen, what I'll say to you, Ericsson's may have been an angle. They were both semi-finals. Okay, one was 35 yards, one was an angle. One 35-yard free kick and the weight of the ball was not the same as Ericsson. Plus, they didn't have possibly the world's greatest or best goalkeeper at the time. Certainly the Premier League's, First Division's best goalkeeper in goal at the time. This was a cup Spurs had to win to save bankruptcy. Paul Gascoigne was the only man that could
weren't going bust, Brian. They
were getting close to. If Sugar hadn't come in, it was close.
No. Let me clear that up. Nat Solomons had done a deal with Lloyds Bank before Sugar came in that gave Spurs 18 months grace.
Okay, so 18 months grace, but the FA Cup was a necessity to Tottenham Hotspur. Ash, I mean, you've probably seen both goals. Gascoigne or Ericsson?
I think it's Gaza simply because of the weight of the ball. Just think about it. Just take Arsenal out of it. Take everything out of it. Take bankruptcy out of it. Just looking at the goal. The Ericsson one was really hard, I have to admit. But if you think about just the conditions that they used to play in before this pre-money coming into football, so much money coming into football, it was a whole different ball game. And to score that from 35 yards out with the weight of the ball, that's insanity. So I think the Gaza one wins, personally.
And Ryan, It was the scum we beat. Doesn't get any better.
I agree, but if you're just taking goal by goal, free kick by free kick, I think bending one across the keeper from the edge from the corner of the box, 25 yards out. It wasn't 20, it was 25 yards, and into the proper stanchion in off the post. It
was a fantastic free kick. That was probably the best free kick he ever scored for Spurs with. But not quite. 9 out of 10 against a 10 out of 10.
Exactly. And
10
like
out of 10.
people are saying, and like I said,
Full
Ryan,
10 out of 10 hitting hope.
the way you have just had so. I'm not even going to respond to that. I'm not even going to. You're such a mate. Tell your mum to take a picture of your face as it is before you fly, because your passport picture may be very different when you fly back. Because, mate, I will die on this hill with you. I will do whatever stream you want with Gaza versus Ericsson, and Gaza will win it every single time. And Gaza was only there for 2 full years before he got injured.
Ericsson had better hair.
Well, maybe near the end.
Yes.
Maybe listen. Ericsson looks like Tintin, but yeah, guys, we've got 13 minutes left. Do either any of you have a conversation you want to bring up?
We were going to talk about Todibo. Oh no, we did. Sorry.
We did. I mean, is there going to be any more? Let's see. Another more. Ryan, what transfer rumor do you reckon we're going to get today?
I don't think there'll be any transfer rumours today. I just think it'll be a very quiet day. I'll be very surprised if any transfer news pops up. Okay,
you're going for no transfer news. Ian?
It's gone quiet with Jota, hasn't it? There hasn't been much said last few days about it.
That's not going to happen.
I think
he could be a surprise. That could happen very quietly. That could get done.
Okay, I just want to say a very big thank you to David, my brother in Australia. Big up you guys. Damn internet in Bulgaria is better than Australia, for fuck's sake. Okay. Bulgaria, I've never tried Bulgarian Wi-Fi, neither Australian Wi-Fi, but
Australian Wi-Fi is quite good.
But thank you. Oh yeah, your dad's in Australia, isn't he? But thank you very much indeed for the super chat, David, and it's wonderful to see you here. We've got this one. Jota news will come. I think he's coming. I think it's the first deal that gets done. In all honesty, but let's have a question. Let's talk about, rather than transfers in. Who do we see leaving the club? I said yesterday, I think Højbjerg's going at the end of the window. I think Brian Hill is going back to Spain, as he does every year, to top up his tan, because Jota will be here. And I see Lo Celso possibly going, because we just can't trust his injuries anymore. And if he goes now. I'm past caring. And I think someone will leave on a free. I think someone's contract will be ripped up, but I don't know who. Ash, who do you think's leaving in January?
Yeah, I think Højbjerg's definitely going. That's why he got his new agent. Otherwise, why would he pay him? And I do think Brian Hill will leave, but it could also be a loan. It's possible Ange believes in him enough to give him a loan. But if we loaned him out, I'd rather not send him to Spain. I want to send him to someone like Sean Dyche. I swear, Sean Dyche, I rate him. He could come back looking like John Cena. I'm not even kidding. Sean Dyche can take any player and make them tough. So I would send him out to like a really hard physical team, or like send him to the championship to get like battered by people, and then let him come back to Spurs with like some like meat on him. Wait, that came out wrong, but you know what I mean.
Of course. I've said before, if he ever did go out on loan again, I think it needs to be in England. If he's got any chance of making it in this country with Tottenham, he needs to be making it on a loan deal in a different club, in a different English club. Ian, outgoing.
I don't see much going on. If we bring a centre back in, I could see Dyer going. If Jota comes in effect, he probably replaces Perisic. I don't see too much happening, to be honest. I don't see it. It's maybe the centre back is. I think that's key more than anything else. Richie started scoring, so there's less pressure to bring a striker in.
You can't sell Richie anyway, because Son's going to the Asia Games.
But what I'm saying is that there was talk about getting a striker. I think Richie has alleviated a lot of fears. I think he will come through now and score bundles between now and the end of the season.
I won't.
Don't see too much. So he's a new player. You've got to treat him as a new signing, Ryan. No injuries. He's not an understudy. He'll be getting he'll be getting regular football now, and he's fully fit. Wait and see. Brazil don't pick him because they're idiots. Believe me.
Yeah. We'll see. Ryan, who are your outgoings, or you think, not who you want, who you think?
I think Todibo's going. I don't. No matter what, I don't think even if we don't bring a midfielder in, I think he's off. He just can't play the Ange system. I mean, the Newcastle goal was laughable. Him giving the ball away, he just can't play the system. I think Reguilon's coming back, and he'll be going back to Spain. And you're talking about a contract that might be ripped up. I think if Ndombele comes back, I think Spurs will just have to bite the bullet and rip it up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't want him anywhere near the training ground. I think he should have his pass revoked. He should not. Listen, the way I look at it is normally players like that, you say, we don't want you anywhere near the first team. Go train with the under-23 team as punishment. If that happens, to me, that's a punishment to the under-23 team.
Mm-hmm.
What
I mean is, if Galatasaray phone up saying we're cancelling the loan,
so
Spurs,
I heard Charlie
Spurs should phone up his agent saying we don't want him back. If he turns up back, we're calling the police for trespassing. Rip up his contract, and we will never see him again.
The difference is, Brian, if you said to Dyke, we'll pay up your contract, it's probably a couple of million. You rip up Ndombele's contract, it's 15, 16 million.
That's nice. He's
got
money, hasn't he?
Sorry?
Has he still got another year and a half, or is it 6
year and a half at 200 grand a week?
18 months. But listen, I think, honestly, if you say it to him, if you pay him outright, I don't think you pay out his contract in full. There'll be some kind of agreement to say, listen, we're just going to give you, let's say, a year of your contract.
They can't do it, Brian. They can't do it. It's in writing.
So then pay.
It's in writing.
Would you?
Unless he agrees. That's
what I mean. It'll be 10 million straight up. Get out of here. But we keep the.
I'd rather pay 2 years. If he had 18 months, I'll say 2 years. Here you go. Fuck off. I'll take the hit. Just get away. Stay away from us. Don't infect you. Lazy, no good, pointless.
So Brian, you're not big on him then.
Oh mate, honestly, I honestly, if he leaves this football club in January and we rip up his contract, I will be happier than any transfer we bring in. This man is a disgrace. This man is a disgrace of a footballer. And one of these days, he's going to be one of those. Oh, you started me off on a tangent now. He's going to be one of those players that when he looks back at his career, he's going to look at one Scudetto that he came off the bench to play. And then all he's going to have is years and years of regret. And he probably won't even be able to get media roles because he probably won't turn up on time and talk about something different. I can't stand the man. He's got a God-given gift that every single person in this world would pray to have. And he has thrown his entire career away because of his lazy, lethargic, no good being. I think he's the worst Spurs signing of all time. Of all time, he is the worst signing ever.
Pound for pound, he is.
Beat that. What's your thoughts on Tanguy?
So from what I've heard, the Athletic reported that even though Galatasaray hate him and do not want him, they are not allowed to rip up the loan until the end of the year. So Charlie Ekrichai reported that he can't come back even if they want to send him back desperately, which is how we feel. So I really do empathize with the Galatasaray fans because their football has been suspended. The Turkish league is going through some hell. And on top of all of that, they have to deal with the pain of Tanguy Ndombele, but better them than me. So please stay there as long as you can, Tanguy. And I do think that it's a problem now for the summer then, if he's not coming back in Jan. So that I do think in the summer it will be slightly less money, rip up the contract, let him go. No team is going to want a player like him. So we just have to rip it up because he's being paid as much as Sonny and that's just not all right.
You know what I would say? If I was back in England right now, during January, if Tanguy was at the training ground, I'd go and protest to get him out. Not leave it. I'll be like, I'll get all the banners made up with Ryan and just be like, get this bastard out of the club. Ryan, what's your thoughts to close on good old Tanguy and Five Bellies?
I think if he had half the brain cells as his ability, And you even said it, he'd be the closest player we've had to Gaza.
Yep.
And that's not me knocking Gaza. Even Brian said.
No, I would say that. Yeah, I've seen him do things with the football that I've only been able to see Paul Gascoigne do. And that's in glimpses. Whereas a certain person by the name of Gascoigne would do it for 90 minutes, week in, week out. But on that note, we're going to wrap it up. It has been another great show. We'll be back tomorrow because it's Ange Ball Eve. Ben Kaufman will be with me. Ash, once again, awesome as bloody always. The new superstar on the block. Where can people find you, Ash?
So I do a weekly show, a bilingual show in Hindi and English on Talk and Ball. It's called White Chart Lane. So that's where you can find me. This week's show is on Monday at 1 o'clock UK time.
Brilliant. Ian, where can people find you?
On X, Twitter at Lugo_61, on here and on Spaces.
Fantastic. Ryan?
Right here, the world famous home of Levy Out. You'll see me potentially tomorrow. I might pop on again. Ange Ball Eve, you'll see me at the stadium tomorrow. Not made up my mind yet if I'm going to be bringing banners or not. Yeah, and also Amir's going to be at the game. I'm sure you all know who Amir is. Yep. So big up to Amir. Ben will also be at the game tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, Saturday.
Are you taking him to Food God?
No, because he's a vegetarian.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, don't take him to Food God. Then it will be the absolute opposite of what he will want. So listen, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We will be back tomorrow. We apologise first of all for the advent calendar coming out late yesterday. It is set to come out at 11. Today is day 21. So it's a lot of fun. It's me, Ben, Dave, and Phil P. It's a really, really good show. Everyone have a great day, whatever you do. We will see you tomorrow. Like, comment. Oh no, Ben. Ryan, what do you want to say as your ending?
We just got first of all, we got a super sticker.
1 second. 1 second. David, again, thank you very much indeed, David. I'll try and thank you very much. YouTube need to be able, or StreamYard need to be able to bring those up. Thank you very much indeed, David. We really appreciate it. Go on then, Ryan.
Support the team, not the regime, as always.
And I will end it in the only way Tottenham on Tour can ever end a show. And that will be with the little words, the fingers, like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, Levy out.